Hello my friends, what you see here is a full Gigabyte computer, built mostly with Gigabyte parts, blue obviously, and which is basically the deep desire of a big retro enthusiast from Romania, Mihai Velicu by his awesome name. He wanted to build it, he gathered the components over several months, built the computer and gave it to me to do what follows. The less than okay part of this whole thing is that this computer is not mine, so I have to handle it with care, except that I care not how I handle things. So I really need to start with smaller things, and I'm starting with this little thing right here, removing the case screws. Yes, it looks nice, and in 2005, the year when the case was released, having screws like this was something else, at least for me. The side panel comes off very nicely and elegantly, which activates a mechanism based on internal clips, and that's it. To say that I'm excited would be an understatement. Just look how much blue is in here, but let's also see how much Gigabyte. First of all, the cables are blue. The ID cables are from Gigabyte and look very good. The power supply cables are nicely sleeved with a semi-transparent blue mesh. In fact, almost all the cables in the case are sleeved the same way, including the ones for the fans. The motherboard is a Gigabyte K8NS on socket 754, so we have an Athlon 64 or Sempron CPU inside. It's not a high-end motherboard, but it doesn't need to be. We're not entering some contest. The video card is also a Gigabyte, obviously. I can't tell what it is at first glance, but it's something from the HD 3000 or 4000 series, we'll see. And then we have the cooler, the famous, the beautiful, and the much desired by me and by many of us in 2004, because that's when it's from, the Gigabyte 3D Rocket Cooler Pro. I still remember my eyes swelling with tears as I looked at it in computer magazines, but well, it was a distant dream, but now it's here, it's blue and it's not mine. Such is life, I still have to wait. This is a 400 watts FSP Blue Storm II power supply, released around 2005 or a bit earlier, which is blue, obviously. We have very nice fans from Gigabyte, which we'll see if they have LEDs or not. 3 GB of RAM, and that's about it for now. I'll turn it on and we'll see what it can do and what it has to offer to us. We need to do the initial startup and the PC powered on. Awesome, you simply can't dislike this blue that just shines through every nook and cranny. It has an amazing 2000s vibe. It makes sense, not like the nonsense we have today. It's artistic. This is the Mona Lisa of computers. Thank you, Leonardo. And as I suspected, these fans have blue LEDs, and the combination of blue light with a white frame looks much nicer than I expected. The 3D Rocket Pro cooler is not that bright, it has 4 small LEDs in the 4 cardinal points. I remember it being bluer, a bit more luminous, at least that's what I saw in pictures. Could it be due to the unstoppable passage of time? We may never know. And we also have a lot of blue light here in the front, which looks very nice because whoever designed the case left all sorts of holes for the light to go through. Good job, guys. I think we're ready to see exactly what components we have, what it can do, what we find on the hard drives. But if everything has gone smoothly so far, from now on we're going on rough terrain. Se încarcă cam greu. And so as not to waste too much of your time, in short, the problems encountered and how I solved everything. I receive an error when entering Windows. Windows no disk, nice. Then the Windows, which is XP Service Pack 3, has almost nothing on it. No default themes, no wallpapers, completely empty. The keyboard didn't work. Finding various things, I decided to reinstall Windows, and this computer's look entices me towards Windows Vista. All well and good, I mean good looking, yes, look how beautiful the installer looks, but not good, because it took forever to get to the next step, only for me to find out with amazement that Vista can't be installed. I suspected the motherboard, especially since I couldn't find drivers on the official site for Vista, so we're going to return to the good old Windows XP, which never disappoints, bless its kernel. I installed XP without any issues except for the video card drivers, because it's an ATI? No, not this time. It's most likely because it's a video card from 2008 on AGP, it's a bit picky, and it didn't want to work with the drivers taken from the AMD website. I tried several versions, but it worked very well with the drivers taken from the Gigabyte site. Go figure. To make sure the video card really works, I ran the classic 3D Mark 2001 SE. All the tests were okay, and in the end I have this score, which is kind of low. It's a 2003 level of performance. Look here at some results obtained with an Athlon 64. Well, I thought that since I have this beautiful computer these days, I should also make a video about a few games I like. I installed about 20 games, it took me a while, you can imagine, deal with CDs, deal with CD keys, deal with whatever. I also configured MSI Afterburner so my fellow retro geeks can see relevant stats about resource usage. And right after I installed the last game and wanted to start Quake IV, what do you know my friends, the game doesn't start and I get this error. And yeah, the second hard drive is done for, or something bad happened to it, but anyway, it doesn't want to work anymore. I've changed BIOS settings, restarts, I've changed the SATA cables with new ones, nothing, it can't be used anymore. After several different attempts, it worked, only I had to format it. It formatted, but after a restart the same problem. It can't be used, so I disconnected it and installed the games again on the hard drive with Windows. All I have to say is this: Seagate hard drives from the 2000s. Those who know, know. Or is it just a myth? We will never know. Before we see how well certain games run on this computer, its specifications are these. Before seeing the games, a big disclaimer: this computer was not made for performance, the main purpose was the visuals, the blue and the Gigabyte theme. First, I'll leave you with this game that looks beautiful, especially this map, and even more so when it's foggy, it looks great. This is a game from 2002, yes, but we need to see how older games are faring, right? The performance is very good, between 60 and 100 FPS. Please don't forget, the video card is held back quite a bit by the CPU. On the other hand, the game is from 2002. But on the other hand, the game is not optimized, so I don't know. Knights of the Old Republic is from 2003 and it runs as I expected, 30-40 FPS. First of all, I'd like to present to you the ugliest effect of all time. If you think motion blur from racing games is ugly, you are not prepared for what's coming. Behold, in all its galactic splendor, frame buffer effects, yikes. Again, I don't understand how something like this is possible, for someone to give the go ahead to such a visual whatever. That's what it looks like. Developers in the 2000s, after discovering shader effects, were like me after discovering word art in Word. All my text look something like this. Yeah. I disabled the option and now the game looks good, especially if we go to Taris, my favorite planet in KOTOR. I started picking a fight with a poor door for no reasons. And since we're here, the performance during combat, meaning during the fight with this inanimate object, is very good, between 40 and 50 FPS. And now, so you understand, these floating dudes right here are healing. These are Kolto tanks, meaning devices filled with Kolto. Kolto which has powerful therapeutic capacities. And there's only one planet in this galaxy where you can get Kolto, on Manaan, by far the most annoying planet ever designed by the folks at BioWare. Unreal Tournament 2004 is a well-optimized game, so I am brave enough to use maximum settings and resolution, and in the most heated battles it doesn't drop below 50, while in some easier areas it jumps over 100 FPS. Quake IV was released in 2005, and it's a pretty hard game to run, especially for the CPU, which only has a frequency of 2 GHz. And yes, although the game looks impeccable, it moves less okay. During combat it drops down to 24 FPS, which is not nice, not to mention the freezes, which are quite common. This right here is quite nice. The scene appeared in a PC magazine back in the day. I was fascinated when I looked at the screenshots in it. The details back then seemed unreal, and of course I didn't have the necessary computer power to play Quake IV. Now I have the computer, I have the game, but I don't have the time, so I ended up in the same place, not playing Quake IV. Okay, we've seen some stuff about this computer's gaming capabilities, but let's analyze everything about it and see more details. The case, by its name Gigabyte 3D Aurora, is a case from 2005 which at the time was quite advanced and interesting. It's aluminum, it's a full tower, it has a little door in the front that hides everything, and this gives it an air of coolness somehow, especially after you turn it on and you're flooded by Gigabyte's blue theme. And as a big fan of the color blue, I think it looks amazing. It's very pleasant to look at, to use, to have next to you. Plus we have this thing which can be customized to your liking. On the side we don't have a glass panel, which is very good, but a mesh that allows just a little of the blue coming out of the case to be seen, so as not to draw your eyes when you're looking at the monitor, but just enough to still see something. We all know that these front doors can have problems after a while, if you keep opening and closing them, but not in this case. The hinges seem very resistant, solid. We also have two orifices in the back for water cooling. We have toolless mounting for the optical drives, the floppy drives and the hard drives. And we can have 3 optical drives, 2 floppy drives and 5 hard drives. Cooling is provided by 3 120mm fans, 1 in the front and 2 in the back, so we're pretty okay with this. Overall, this is a big and roomy case. We have room to put in just about everything. Plus, it also supports water cooling. And I don't know if you believe me or not, but there is such a thing also from Gigabyte, and I won't tell you that a video with that might be coming up. Unfortunately, you can't remove the motherboard tray to mount the motherboard outside the case. But it has foldable feet, and in a situation where you are at a LAN party session in the back of a van while fleeing from some bad guys, you take out the feet and you can rest easy because the case won't tip over. And we've arrived at the components, where we must consider how they work together, their aesthetics in line with the current theme. First of all, yes, Gigabyte motherboard, Gigabyte video card and Gigabyte cooler, all blue. There were no Gigabyte power supplies back then, but we have a very good one, FSP Blue. Gigabyte RAM, even less so, but the RAM is not blue. The cables are almost all blue, except for the SATA cables, which are red. What's up with that? But we have bonus points because he sleeved the power supply cables. And we get to the video card, which I initially thought was the weak point of this build, but after seeing it's on AGP, I relaxed a bit. That's because the HD 4650 on AGP is one of the fastest video cards on AGP. It competes with the HD 3850. So we have something more of a collector's item, so to speak. Regarding the cable management and stuff, I don't believe in cable management anyway, so I don't know what to say. The cables are sleeved, they are routed here and there as much as possible to look good for the year of 2005. It looks pretty good. From what I see, nothing is out of place, everything is connected and plugged in, and no weird cables are hanging around. But does everything work, or are some things just for show off? Both optical drives work very well. The only small problem is that the bottom one opens a bit slowly, but well, we all get old. The side USBs work, but the side audio jack does not. Oops, I tried several pairs of headphones, nothing. The floppy drive does not work, so it's probably there for decoration. Probably the second revision of the system will bring another crazy panel there instead of the floppy. The compact flash and SD reader work very well, recognizes everything right away. The little knob for the CPU cooler is from Gigabyte, and it works. At minimum the cooler sounds like this. And at maximum the cooler sounds like a rocket, at 4000 rotations per minute.
Oh.
And then we have this Lian Li TR5F fan bus and temp gauge combo unit in the 5.25 inch bay. What can I say? It's not from Gigabyte, but it's blue, so it's okay. But does it work well? Well, the video card temperature is lower than what GPU-Z shows. but that's to be expected. The temperature dial that you see right here is stuck somewhere in the cooler, not on the chip. The same can be said for the CPU. It shows less than in SpeedFan, only from what I see it shows much less, 43 in SpeedFan and 33 in the Lian device. Of course, it also has to pass the smell test. And I can tell you that we have an okay blend of old, obviously, but not the smell of old electronics, just the smell of old. It's okay. What is the general vibe? Considering that we have a pleasant and blue combination of components, a well-defined theme, namely Gigabyte, considering that this case is really something worthy of staring at and playing with, but also because we have a strange blend of new and old when it comes to components, the general vibe is spot on. Well done. The only thing I don't like is that it's not mine. Such is life, but at least I had the privilege to play with it a bit. Thank you. I hope you like this computer and this video. Tell me what impressed you the most, and until next time, don't be blue, have fun and be nostalgic.